Hey guys, Project Reaps here. Want to bring you a couple of the builds I've been using on Xul the new Necromancer, Hero Specialist, Melee Specialist. So let's get right into it. First build, if they have 2 tanks or 2 high health heroes or more. If they have 3 or 4, then this is the build I use specifically to target those tanks. It's really handy using this build as you can take the tanks out pretty quick, and that'll allow you to, instead of having to try and get around them or have your assassins, you know, flank to the side and kill the other assassins and kill their DPS, you can just blow their high health units up real quick. So this backlash is going to deal damage based on their max health, and that's going to be pretty much core. At this level you have 2 options. I wouldn't use this per se. You probably won't need that for what you're doing. You're going to be sticking to one of these, and it's going to be map dependent. If on the map you are going to be engaging enemies somewhere where you're going to need vision, like for instance on the doubloon map where you turn into doubloons, the area where you turn into doubloons, there's no vision there. So if you cast this on someone, you know, on their side or on your side, and they run away, as they're running away, those 15 seconds that the skeletal warriors fixate on the enemy will give you vision, and unless they kill them. But it's still, the only reason I've ever seen to take this is not for additional damage. The damage that those 2 minions deal is negligible, but it does provide handy vision as they chase and fixate that enemy. Otherwise you'll take this, it'll just increase the range of your damage dealer, which will help quite a bit. So we'll just snag that. And then here, this is also going to be dependent on less the map, or a little bit the map, or a little bit dependent on the enemy hero. So I will explain. This is really amazing. No matter what map you're on, really, you can run to a lane, you activate your cleave ability, and then as you use this one, you're gonna just smash the wave, and you're gonna summon units, and you're gonna heal real quick. Otherwise, depending on if you're on a map where you're gonna be engaging enemies on the regular, how do I explain that better? If you're gonna be engaging full team fights, like on the curse map where you're fighting for that curse objective, or when you're doing the doubloon turn-in map, I would recommend Harvest Vitality, as you're not going to be on lanes as often as you're going to be in big fights with multiple units. So you're going to be, the cleave range is just huge. You can actually, it shows you, it's huge. So anything in that area that you're hitting, it's going to heal you if it's a hero. So as long as there's hero fights, Harvest Vitality is where it's at. And the only time I would take Weaken is if they have 3 or more heavy basic attackers. Thrall, Vala, Kerrigan, Greymane, etc. So let's jump into further. For the tank killing, you're going to need Poison Nova, and then you'll also definitely want Giant's Curse. This is designed specifically for killing tanks. It's going to make your W do damage based on their health. So the fact that they have more health is going to make you deal more damage to that front line, so you can tear through it and get to the back line. And then you'll also want to take, sorry, I clicked it too fast, Vulnerability from Bone Prison. This is going to make those tanks that have a huge amount of health take a 25% more damage, allowing you to just plow right through that front line. And then this is also very, very important. Your Nova, it's not going to do a lot of damage to those tanks. It's just going to kind of supplement the damage you're dealing until level 20. But then once you get this 1% of their life over 10 seconds, that's 10% of their total life. That is a lot of extra damage. So if there's 2 or more tanks, that's the build you're going to take. Backlash, Death's Reach, or Jailers, depending on the map. This is also depending on the map. That's really player preference. Then the rest of these are core. You're going to need Poison Nova, Giant's Curse, Amplify Damage, and Call of the Grave. And then let's reset this real quick, and we'll jump right into the next one. This is the Assassin Hunter. If they have a lot of assassins, a lot of squishy heroes, this is how I would recommend building your hero. Real quick, I'm going to talk about the one con of Shade is that if you see here, it adds 10 seconds to the cooldown. If you're actually going to be out and actively killing people, that is bad, and you do not want that. So I would recommend Shackler for 2 reasons. The first reason, slowing them is obvious benefit. You run up your melee target, so anything in your AoE is going to get slowed, and that's going to allow you to land more hits. And I'll get into the second reason later, as it's going to synergize with another power. So here, same thing. You don't really need essence. You'll take jailers if you need the vision on a map where you don't have a lot of vision. The terror map, the doubloon map, those are the 2 that really just come to mind, like that it's really important. You would never really need this on, say, the spider map, where you're going to be laning almost all game. You'll take that. And since the Scythe is going to be core to how we're assassinating, how we're going for these assassins, so getting that extra range is going to be very helpful. We'll also take Poison Nova, because Poison Nova is amazing. 7 is also same thing. You know, you can do whatever you need. If their assassins are basic attackers, Weaken is going to be huge help. Otherwise, Harvest Vitality or Rathsma's Blessing, either one to heal you is quite helpful. Then we're going to go Poison Nova, because it's going to help you take down those heroes even faster, and if they get away, they'll die from that dot damage. Then the next 2 are going to be where it's at. This is what's going to allow you to really, really hurt these heroes. You're going to take Decrepify for a slow on your Scythe, and then you're going to take Executioner. Executioner is going to make your basic attacks hit real hard on anybody who's slowed. Now this is going to combo with the thing we took at level 1. Whenever you run up and you engage somebody, you can use this. This will increase your damage while the 4 seconds are up, and then use that and kind of combo them together for a lot of damage. And then the Bone Prison, they'll be stunned, so you'll get extra damage while they're bone prisoned. It all combos together very nicely, that Executioner. It can add a lot of damage. Now this, if they have, you know, not that many tanks, I wouldn't worry about this. Mortal Wound I take specifically when they have a lot of AoE heals. So Malfurion, if he takes his heal ult, Li Li, if she takes her heal ult, any Karazim I would take Mortal Wound against. Rhaegar, maybe, if he is using the power at level 13 that makes it so it heals extra. If they're low health, you might want Mortal Wound. Otherwise, Bone Spear, 10-second cooldown. You know, you shoot a spear, bam, extra snipe damage, so you can hunt those assassins. And I'm trying to make this quick, so I will jump right into the last build. This is the push build, and this is the only build I would recommend taking Shade for. The reason for this is you're going to be, for the most part, you know, hit or miss avoiding team fights. You still need to go to objectives. You always need to help with objectives. Well, not always. It's really dependent, but I mean, you should be at most or a lot of the team fights. However, while you're pushing a lane, when they come down to gank you, having this extra survivability is going to be helpful, and having it, you know, having the cooldown take an extra 10 seconds won't matter as much, since you're not fighting as actively. And then we'll jump right into it. I would definitely recommend taking Essence if you're going to be staying on lanes and pushing. Same with this. This is huge amount of heals, very helpful. Skeletal Mages, or you could really take either of these. In fact, Skeletal Mages does have a faster cooldown. It makes murking a little bit easier. But Poison Nova does hit buildings. So, in fact, I know I just clicked this, but I would almost recommend taking Poison Nova. You can play with Skeletal Mages, see what you think about it, but from my experience, I almost think any build, Poison Nova is going to be the better choice. It just seems like the better ult. These things can die too, and they don't stop enemies, and the slow's 30%. That 30% slow actually could combo quite well with the Executioner build we just talked about. Anywho, then you'll want Corpse Explosion, and you'll want Skeletal Mastery. So, you know, we're just buffing your D like crazy. And then, I haven't really seen the need for this, you know, that extra slow. The thing is they just don't target what you want. They don't seem to do what you want. They die too easily. Not a fan. I'd leave it up to these two. Bone Spear is actually real handy. What you do is, when I can actually do it right now. So the minions are going to come at me, and you just time it so that before they engage, when they engage, they kind of spread out. See, I hit every one of them there, and then I can throw this, and they're all dead. And now I have my whole wave of mercs, and we'll just so you guys can kind of see when they explode. It's a couple other things you can do. You drop your Q and then run a little bit, and you'll hit out all the towers, which is pretty cool. And you can stand right here and do it with your bone spear as well, and just really push these lanes down. Just really push these lanes down hard. Alright, well that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys liked. If you have any questions, if I didn't go over anything, I am going to be putting up another video where I talk about every talent and not just the specific builds. And I'll go a little bit more into the actual gameplay of it. I know this was kind of boring to watch, but hopefully it was educational. And if you liked it, feel free to subscribe. I'll be bringing more of these for lots more characters. You can follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook under the name Project Reaps or Project Reaper. And thanks for watching. Appreciate it, and you guys have a great day.